is to place as eternity is to time. Joseph Joubert. But the wise man looks to space and knows there is no limited dimensions. Zhuangzi. The earth is a cradle for mankind, but mankind cannot stay in this cradle forever. Konstantin Tsiolkovsky. I remember when I was 6 years old, visiting Malindi for the first time. A pillar hung high, towering over me. And once I heard the story behind it, I felt the need to question why Vasco da Gama felt the need to leave behind the shadow of the evolution he represented. Our alliance of the Malindi town under protection of his alliance, only to be left behind when he left to cast another shadow, to spread his vacating influence time and time again. We relied on him to bring forth the change we could not make ourselves. This story is continuously repeated on how African countries are left behind while our counterparts leave us behind in the shadow of their achievements. Albeit, in 2018, Kenya launched its first satellite, Typhoon 1, meaning as to represent the nation, one of the very first African countries to achieve this feat. However, while this is quite impressive, we still lay a dozen satellites behind our fellow African peers. We cannot lay stagnant after this single victory only after we win the war, not to teeter along the edge of this poignant pioneer. Space is undoubted the next horizon we must conquer. We cannot be ignorant and disregard what our own two eyes can see. While the Kenya Space Agency pivots their aims towards the children, the Kenyan school curriculum still fails them. As a student, intrigued by the intricacies of rocket science, I have never even heard the topic mentioned in a classroom, not even a mention to a future pioneer that may shape the way I'm to live the rest of my days in. How can we expect to catch up with the rest of the world if we don't even have the future minds to build it? Just think about it. How are we supposed to shape the world if our children don't even know what they're looking for? My curiosity enveloped because I was privileged enough to watch it on the news. However, other children without that same privilege have not even heard the mentions of a future world possible to explore. They have not even heard the whisper of what could be. The future of this country is solely enveloped into the earth we know now, unable to stretch fresh air, hidden. As a growing technological capital, we must look past the simplicities of what we see on the day-to-day and search beyond it. In today's interconnected world, space exploration has become an area for international collaboration. Kenya's increased participation could offer numerous amounts of opportunities to collaborate with fellow African nations, as well as international corporations such as NASA, the European Space Agency, the Indian Space Research Organization. Satellites may be leveraged to improve network communication, monitor natural resources, and to inform data in areas such as agriculture, in areas such as urban planning. To think of the small-time farmer wondering why his crops won't bring forth his next meal. Satellite imagery may be used to monitor crop health, to detect soil erosion, and as well to predict weather patterns. This small-time farmer does not understand the outer presence that may affect his day-to-day life. I believe we need to appreciate space how we appreciate time. Endless, an eternal being, a never-ending horizon that we are simply a speck in. It has gotten to the point that we are exhausting the earth for the resources that are finite. I wholeheartedly believe that this earth was solely meant to be a temporary habitat. It was not meant for us to spend the rest of our days in if there's an entire universe left to explore. To conclude, finally, as we spearhead this, we must understand that space is not just the resources we plan to harvest, but the information that we may gain from our surroundings. Thank you.